Hey guys, it's James here from eBassGuitar. In today's bass guitar lesson, I want to show you how to create perfect slides on the bass guitar every time and show you an exercise inspired by the great Jaco Pastorius. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you check out this lesson all the way to the end. Hey guys, it's James here from eBassGuitar, and today I want to show you how to create perfect slides on the bass guitar every time and also improve your fingerboard knowledge and confidence too. So I get quite a few questions over at eBassGuitar about how do I go about improving my slides on the fingerboard, because often when you're going from say here to here, it can be quite daunting getting that slide right. So what I want to do is teach you an exercise today that was inspired by the great Jaco Pastorius, and it's something that I developed when I was working on the West End show The Lion King to play some of the bass lines in that particular part. But before we dig into the lesson content, there is a completely free PDF that comes with this lesson. There's a link in the description where you can grab that. Please do grab that because I think it will save you a ton of time working out all of the various fingerings so you can concentrate on creating and practicing the slides which are in this particular lesson. First of all, let's talk about how to create accurate slides every time. I can remember a situation about 10 years ago where I was working on a West End show and there was a slide a little bit like this. And I missed it by just a fraction. I went like that. And it got me thinking about what are the exact mechanics to create that perfectly every time. Thankfully, the MD on that show had a bit of a sense of humor, so I got away with it. But it got me thinking about this stuff. And there are really three things that will create an accurate slide every time. Two of them are quite obvious, but the third may not be quite so obvious to you. So let's talk about how to do this. So first of all, if we're going to take going from a B flat to a B flat there, an octave slide is quite a common thing to do. So how do we get this accurate? The first thing is it comes down to muscle memory. We need to practice it so we know the different distance to go from there like that. So that's the first thing that you'll want to do is just practice these slides and trying to get them right so you know what it feels like to go from there to there. So muscle memory comes into play first of all. The second, which is kind of obvious too, is that you need to eyeball this. So you need to go, and if you look where you're going, it will greatly help. So those two things will often create really accurate slides. But the third one is using your ear too. And I learned this from my double bass studies because we often slides into notes. However subtle the slide is, you often use your ear to get the exact intonation. So I know that I'm going for an octave slide here. So what I want to do is actually stop when I hit the note and use my ears to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly close my eyes. I don't know if I'm going to get this right first off, but I just want to show you the principle of how this works. So there you go, I actually did it. I just kind of slid into it, but you see the point of view. So when you put together all three of those faculties, that it really can start to create accurate slides every time. I'll be totally honest with you, I tend to always eyeball everything just because for me, it's the number one thing which really, really helps. But if you use all three of those, you're going to probably nail it every single time with a bit of practice. But let's talk about more complicated slides, which are gonna help you learn how to use the fingerboard. If you've ever listened to the great Jaco Pastorius, you've probably heard him play a bass line which sounds a little bit like this. Like that. It is a great bass line, and what he is doing is he is sliding to the 10th, okay? So the 10th is the third note of the triad up an octave, so it is, and he's taking, if we're in the key of B flat, that is B flat, D, F like that, and what he's doing is he's playing the B flat, the F, and then he's plating that D up the octave, which is a great, great sound. And you can slide into that, but it takes a little bit of accuracy to get those slides right. So what I wanted to do is show you an exercise that I developed when I was working on the show The Lion King, because it has this pattern a lot, and the bass player who obviously wrote that part must have been influenced by Jaco, his albums back in the 70s. So I can kind of hear where it came from. But there was some complicated sliding and I wanted to work out ways to accurately nail that in a high pressure situation every time. So what I worked out I could do this was with tenths from the major scale. Now I'm going to show you how to do this. Make sure you check out the free PDF which comes with this because this will be written out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take tenths in the key of B flat. So let's just take the B flat major scale to begin with. So that will be that. And then the first tenth is this. So it's B flat with a D on the top. And then we have C minor, D minor, E flat minor, like that, major rather, F major, G minor, A minor, and B flat like that. So get really comfortable with that first of all, because that will give you your tenths. You can see that written in the PDF. So first of all, just practice that using the major and minor tenth chord shapes that you find on the neck like this. So we'll start off with a B flat, C minor, D minor, E flat major, F major, G minor, A minor, and B flat. So what we can do is we can create this really kind of funky, slightly Latin sounding bass line like this. And this will really help you accurately slide into each of the major and minor thirds. So let me take you through this. So what we're going to do is it sounds like this. So we're going to start off, we're going to do this in B, we're going to do B flat, F, and then we're going to hit the octave like that, and then we're going to slide to the major third like this. I like putting a couple of dead notes at the end there to make it a little bit funky, but practice that first of all. And that slide I like to do on the third finger. I like to find that a really strong finger to work with. Now this is where it gets interesting. We can now do the C minor like that. And what we're doing is we're sliding a slightly different distance because this time it's a minor third, but you'll also note that the frets have got very slightly smaller, so we're constantly adjusting. So to begin with, just practice those first two together. That's a really nice groove in itself. And then when you get confident, take it up again to the next degree of the scale. So that would be a D minor. So let's do the first 3 degrees of the scale. And why don't we carry on? We can go to the F now, the F major. So once we play the 4th degree of the scale, we can carry on going up. So we will start on an F like this. So that spells out the F major. And then we could go to the G minor, like that, to the A minor 7 flat 5, like that. And then we've got all the way up to the B flat again. And the beauty of this is the frets are constantly changing side and we're constantly manipulating whether we're playing major or minor thirds. So it is a great technical exercise on the bass, but it's also a wonderful musical exercise on the bass. So let me just demonstrate some of the fun that you can have with this concept. Also do it coming back as well. This will be a little bit more challenging, so let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So there you go, that is my Jaco or Lion King inspired exercise to practice slides and also develop playing tenths on the bass guitar. You really will develop a ton of fingerboard knowledge and confidence if you can go through that. Also, that is just the tip of the iceberg. You may decide you want to go, just literally slide directly into the 10th at the top. There are so many possibilities and so many different places you could take this exercise. So make sure you have a ton of fun with this because I know it will have a huge benefit on your fingerboard confidence. So guys, that's the end of today's lesson. Don't forget to grab the free PDF that comes with this lesson. There's a link in the description below. Don't forget to jump over to eBassGuitar and check out the Bass Lab Plus, where there are a ton of great courses that can help you with your bass playing. And also, don't forget to give this a like and share on social. I'm James from eBassGuitar, and I'll catch you next time.